I wanted to show you guys something cool on a black bear's trail. So the bears have been out here feeding on this very nice, perfect spring grass, and they've made a regular pathway through here by stomping in the grass. And the pathway goes right over this shrub right here. And so I'm going to show you from the side. So you can see the stomp marks where the bear has been going through there. But notice how the shrub's been bent over and is leaning now in that direction. So this is what's called a straddle marking tree. And bears will develop these along their well-used trails. And they repeatedly straddle these and leave scent on them as they go by. So in this case, you can see how the bark has been kind of scarred by repeated straddling and rubbing on it by the bear. So the bear straddles it and walks just right over it and lets it spring back behind him. And it's broken off some branches, broken it off here at the base and bent it over, and just kind of damaged it. Sometimes they'll urinate on these things too to leave scent. But this is a straddle marking tree. So this is a scent marking behavior. Now the bear has a trail where he's been stomping his feet and heading into the forest here. And then there's another regular trail right here where you can pick out the footsteps where they use the same spot every time, place their feet very carefully each time that they go through here in the same place. So over time it just makes a little rounded out, sort of a scooped out appearance to this footstep. So put a foot here and a foot here, etc., etc., and it goes off into the forest. And there's a marking tree right in there that they've been marking on, but this pathway of well-worn footsteps is showing that the bear's going in and out of here quite regularly and putting his foot in the same place each time. So I thought you'd like to learn about straddle marking trees. I've talked about marking trees like that before, but this was kind of neat because it's at the intersection of several bear trails. So if I turn around, you can actually see those footsteps, and then here's that straddle marking tree. It's right at the intersection of these two bear trails here. The other one goes that way. So that's kind of cool. Thought you'd be interested in learning about some of the scent marking behaviors that black bears exhibit. And as we leave that tree, I'm going to show you just this fantastic, beautiful, well-worn trail right here where every footstep is perfect. It's clear. It's been used repeatedly, and it's super easy to follow. It's almost like parallel lines at this point being worn into the landscape because of repeated use over years by black bears. And then they've been doing some more feeding out here in the grass. I thought this was kind of cool. The top of my camera box is just covered in bear fur now because the bear has been marking the tree and rubbing on it. And there was some sap from the tree that got on here, and it's sticky. And now there's bear hair everywhere. It's stuck to the lock right here. There's a piece on my finger right there. There's bear hair on here and over here. This is all bear fur from him rubbing on the tree, and some of it is sticking because of that nice sticky sap from the tree. But there's the top of my camera box right there. Look right here. The bear was messing with it, trying to get into the camera, and bent the metal edge here. So if you put cameras out in bear country, you have to have one of these metal security boxes, because if you just put a plastic camera out, the bears are going to just eat it alive. It'll be destroyed. There's already a hole in the camera from where a bear put a claw through it a few years back. It still works, but sometimes water can get in there. So bears do love to check out cameras, and obviously this tree has been attracting them because of all the fur here. Here's kind of a cool bear trail, and it's fairly new because I found a scat on it that looks like it hasn't oxidized very much. So this was probably made today, this morning maybe. And you can see the tracks here really well because the grass hasn't sprung back up yet. So this is called flagging. And the grasses are laid down in the direction of travel. And you can see individual footprints almost. And then up here, it looks like the bear slowed down and took very short steps and left almost a parallel, sort of like a drag mark here, where he was walking in this grass. So this is the easy stuff to follow in spring. So he got here to these sticks and veered off over here. And this is where I saw the scat. So I've already poked this apart with a stick, but that's pretty well not oxidized quite yet. It's a little dry, but I mean, it's not fresh and warm or anything. It's not that fresh, but less than 24 hours maybe. It's still, the grass under it is green. It hasn't dried up a bunch. It's still really soft and squishy. And the grasses under it are still green. They'll turn yellow once they get deprived of sunlight. So it's still fairly fresh. And he went on. Just kind of a cool little bear trail with a nice fresh scat at the end as a reward for a tracker following it.